on, golf addicts? Welcome to the Butterfield Bermuda Championship 2021. We are the Tour Junkies. This is Tour Junkies After Dark, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Listen, it's one of the worst fields we've ever seen in the history of golf betting, but there's money to be made. You know what I mean? You agree, Pat? There's money.
I agree with everything you just said. It's the worst field, but there's money to be made.
There is money to be made. We're here to help you do it. The field is 130 players at this point. They're dropping like flies, but top 65 and ties are going to make the cut after Friday, after round 2. And, you know, this is the third year we've seen it played here at Port Royal Golf Club. Brian Gay won here last year at 200-1. Brendan Todd won the year before that at 100-1 in a much stronger field, both of them. We basically saw the course. The course is easy. It's a par 71. It's 6,800 yards. It's an easy course. It's a short course, but it's all wind and weather dependent. So we'll say this. You know, you might want to proceed with caution when it comes to making bets and locking in DraftKings lineups and all that kind of stuff before lineups lock and before you know, you really understand the weather situation, because if the wind gets nasty and there's a tee time wave advantage, you need to know what that looks like, because this course can play much different, as we saw in the last 2 years with the winning scores being like 9 under and 15 under. It can just play different. So you're going to need to know that. And right now there is some weather looking to kind of be cooking up there in Bermuda. So pay attention to that. And if you want a full breakdown on the golf course, how it's going to play, you can check out our YouTube channel. We just recorded our podcast earlier tonight where I had to pay off a bet penalty that was kind of disgusting. You can go check that out. We broke down the full golf course, the field, the tournament. And of course, you can check out tourjunkies.com, and DraftKings.com has plenty of stuff too. Let's get to it, Pat. Let's talk about picks. Let's talk about the top of the betting board. The long shot, or sorry, the shorter numbers here. I mean, I want this to be a long shot winning tournament. I'm tired of these short numbers winning golf tournaments. You had Hideki last week. I'm just tired of these shorter numbers winning. I love this time of year for golf. It's usually a time, bless you, where a lot of the long shots can take it down. This week we have Matthew Fitzpatrick coming off of a win in at the European Tour level. He's at 10-1, followed by Seabez, Christian Bezuidenhout. We haven't seen play since September. He's at 12-1. Mito Pereira, the DFS darling, at 16-1. Patrick Reed, the name with probably the most cachet, and you know, he's the headliner, I guess. He's at 20-1, along with Seamus Power and a few others there. A lot of Korn Ferry Tour rookie or graduates that are now PGA Tour rookies in this field. How are you approaching the top part of this betting board?
Well, you know, you mentioned that we've seen a lot of shorter odds guys win here this fall, and we could see that this week. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think longer odds this week are going to win, and I really think there's a sweet spot kind of in that 50-1 range. But so in the mid range, not necessarily 100 to 200-1 like we saw with Brian Gay and with Brendan Todd. So I do think it's going to be more in the mid range this week, but you know, if we're going shorter odds, guys, I think Seamus Power is the one that I'm looking at here at 20-1. I don't really want to go Fitzpatrick at 10-1.
No.
Mito Pereira, I think is probably a decent play, but I just don't like that number at 16-1. Like him a little better on DraftKings. But as far as, you know, bets, I do think Seamus Power has a little bit of value here at 20-1. You look at, you know, he's been playing pretty well recently on tour. You know, he's 6th in the field in ball striking. He's top 15 in, you know, strokes gained approach. Very accurate off the tee. Also good putter on Bermuda grass greens. So I think Seamus Power is, if I'm going to go with the shorter odds guy, it's going to be Seamus Power at 20-1.
Okay. I mean, I don't like a whole lot of guys up here. I like, I mean, the shortest number I'm looking at is maybe Adam Hadwin, the Canadian, who, you know, has definitely struggled a little bit last year, maybe a lackluster year for him on the PGA Tour, but always been an accurate player, always been a great putter, and popped, you know, showed a little bit of form to start off the season. Adam Hadwin did. He 45th at the Sanderson Farms and 6th at the Shriners in Vegas just a couple of weeks ago. I think Adam Hadwin is one that at 35-1 I could kind of get behind. And then Danny Willett at 40-1 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Yeah. Now, Danny Willett's played this event before, played it last year, finished 55th. but he's coming off a 21st place finish at the Shriners, but he's coming off of a win. What was the tournament in Europe he just won? I can't remember. He just won on the European Tour not too long ago. Danny Willett's a great wind player. He's proven that in his time on the European Tour and on the PGA Tour. He's a Masters champion. Like, if he's a guy arriving in good form, which he is, in a horrible field, which this is, where potentially windy conditions, tough scoring conditions, where par is your friend, right? I think Danny Willett definitely gives you some win cachet at 40-1. I like that number. So that's about it for me up top. Getting into more of that mid-range, I'm definitely interested in pounding that. And then maybe looking at some top 20s. But why don't you continue telling me who you're digging as we work down the board here a little bit?
Yeah, so mid-range, I'll start with this. I think Taylor Pendrith at 35-1 that's pretty good odds for him. He's a guy that's played extremely well on the Korn Ferry Tour. He's kind of the next stud that I think is going to come out of there and that's going to win a lot of golf tournaments. So I like him at 35-1. But then in this mid-range, which I just mentioned earlier, there's a lot of guys here that I think we could see play extremely well and win this week. You look at a guy like Steven Yeager, who's won a lot of tournaments on the Korn Ferry Tour. Has struggled when he's gotten out on the PGA Tour, but still, he is a proven winner. And basically, we're looking at a field that's like a Korn Ferry event field. And Steven Yeager has won a lot on that tour, so I like him at 45-1. Another guy in here that I think is pretty good is Joseph Bramlett at 50-1. Has a lot of experience playing on tour. This is a good course fit for him as well. He checks a lot of boxes, so at 50-1, I think Joseph Bramlett makes a lot of sense. Another guy right there, Nick Hardy, 50-1. I think he is, another, future winner on tour, star type player that's coming out of the Korn Ferry Tour. So I think that Nick Hardy there at 50-1 is another one that could be a good number. And then also, a couple more here. Mark Hubbard is at 60-1. I like Mark Hubbard. He's another guy we've seen a lot of on tour. He can go low. I do think if the weather holds off just a little bit, these guys could go low this week, unlike when we saw Brian Gay win. When Brennan Todd won, it was 24 under. When Brian Gay won, it was 15 under. Now,
that's what I meant. Yeah, 24 and 5.
Right now, we're seeing, a good bit of wind on Thursday, not as much on the weekend. But we are seeing a little bit of rain early in the week, which is going to soften up this course a little bit, which could be advantageous to scoring. So in a scoring type course, I think Mark Hubbard could do well there at 60-1. I'll be interested to maybe see what his, this could be another week where you look at first round leader bets. We're not even talking about those, and those are ones that we're going to look at more on Wednesday and things like that. But this could be, there's very few weeks where you get like major weather advantages on tour, and this could be one of those weeks. And so first round leader bets is something to look at going forward. We don't have any tonight, but I think it's something that we want to be conscious of.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, if there is a clear tee time advantage here, you eliminate almost half the field, really, in terms of first round leader. But yeah, with this being Monday night, we don't have the tee times, we don't have the odds. It's not out yet, but pay attention to that. I like the Hubbard call a good bit. I like the Yeager call a good bit. I'll throw in David Lipsky there at 50-1. Lipsky just finished 22nd at the Fortinet, 4th at the Andalusia Masters in Spain. So the guy's traveled. He's a well-traveled player anyway. He's very comfortable playing on the European Tour. He obviously came and got his card through the Korn Ferry Tour qualifiers, but Lipsky's a worldwide player. He can hit it in the wind. He's a good player. 50-1. I like that. The last name I'll give you is shorter than 100-1 is Bo Hostler at 80-1. Yeah. I love me some Bo Hostler. I also like him in DraftKings. He's played here twice. He's finished 24th and he's finished 26th in the two times they've held this tournament. And we just saw him. He's only made one start on the PGA Tour so far this year, but it was a T16, I think. Let me look. Yeah, T16 at the Fortinet Championship. Hostler is a known putting stud. Okay, putts well in Bermuda, great around the greens. I think the more difficult this gets, the better for Bo Hostler. It's gonna completely be one of those situations where if the wind gets going and he misses a lot of greens or people are missing greens, he's great to get up and down. He's great to putt on. He's an accurate driver of the golf ball. It all comes down to the irons for him. So I think Beau Hossler is one to pay attention to at 80-1, but probably, and this will help us transition a little bit, probably better off for a top 20. I like him at 3-1. To top 20. In terms of like triple digit bombs, I really don't have a ton of them that I like. I guess I'll go with Vaughn Taylor at 130-1. He's a PGA Tour winner, already proven winner. He won on a golf course very similar to this at Pebble Beach when it was windy and it's a short course. It's a coastal course. 130-1 Vaughn Taylor, I'll take it, but that's about it for me. I like him better at a top 20 number at plus 550 on DraftKings, and I've got some other top 20s here, but I'll let you button up any long shot outrights you got, and we'll move into the top 20s, and we'll button this bad boy up.
Yeah, I think the only other one I'll add is Cameron Percy here at 100-1. He's a guy that checks a lot of boxes on this golf course, has played here before, has been in decent form. So Cameron Percy at 100-1. If you want to bet him top 10, he's 8-1. So I think that's that's probably what I would look at there is Cameron Percy at 100-1 is probably the one of my favorite longer shot guys.
Do we think Cameron Percy can win? Like, that's my only hang up. It's like, I like Cameron Percy a lot. I love him in DFS.
I know, but did we think Brian Gay could win last year?
No.
Would you even have thought Brian Gay could win last year?
No. I get it. I get it. This is going to be anybody's game. Like, anybody can win this thing. He's plus 350 as a top 20. I think that's solid. Let's see. A few other top 20s I like. I mentioned Hossler at 3-1. Vaughn Taylor plus 550. Speaking of Brian Gay, your defending champ, who also finished third in his first time here. Mm-hmm. So he's got a third place finish and a win. He loves this golf course. He's plus 350 as a top 20. That's a good number. A name I didn't mention outright, Russell Knox is plus 240 to finish top 20, along with Mark Hubbard, who we both like. Knox is in good form. He's trending nicely. This is a great spot for him. I like him. Those are some long shot top 20s. I mean, in terms of the shorter numbers, I think that Danny Willett at plus 170 is my favorite bet. I mean, Yeager's plus 180, but I would honestly rather just spend it all, like, with only 10 more points there with Yeager. Like, I would rather spend all my top 20 units on a guy like Danny Willett to finish top 20 at plus 170.
All right, well, I'll give you a few here. We didn't mention Ryan Armour. I know you weren't a fan of Ryan Armour on the show, but I mean, plus 220 for a top 20. I like. I mean, this is a perfect course for Ryan Armour.
Plus 220 top 20.
Yeah,
I don't mind that actually.
Ryan Armour course.
I don't mind that. Like, we debated on our show about him in DraftKings, which I don't like. I don't like the price on DraftKings, and I don't like him outright. But a top 20 at plus 220, I like.
I think that's a good number. I like Lee Hodges also at plus 275. He's another kind of young gun coming off the Korn Ferry Tour that's played well. I think that's a good number for him. A couple others that I think, I mentioned Cameron Percy as an outright bet. Well, if you're going to take him there, then take him top 20 at plus 350. A couple more. Austin Smotherman, you can get at 4-1 at plus 400. I think that's a good number for him. That's probably about it. I don't know if I got anybody else on here that I like that much for top 20.
Yeah, I think that's it for me. I mean, I think you kind of, like we said, you kind of got to pump the brakes until we see how the weather shakes out. We see how these tee time advantages and tee time waves shake out. We'll go from there. But that's it for us for the Butterfield Bermuda Championship 2021 from Port Royal Golf Club. We are the Tour Junkies. This is Tour Junkies After Dark, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Check out DraftKings Sportsbook. Give this video a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe, all that good stuff. We would appreciate it. Thank you very much. May your screens be green. See ya.